gentlemen, welcome to the Business Day TV SME Summit in partnership with Credit Guarantee and SAICA.
The focus is on opportunities, to look at new innovations in the marketing space, the sales space, creative thinking, things that you can put into practice in your businesses.
By 2030, the SME sector will have to deliver 90% of new jobs to eradicate poverty.
And the domain name, really, you can say loosely, it's something, it's a name that makes you to be easy to be found online.
We're going to launch into a panel discussion now on integrating digital and traditional marketing.
It's not a question of what can we do, but what is most important to do right now.
So we've had to learn lessons ourselves in using our channels to market our own products, our own events in a more efficient way.
So strategically, it is very important to build strategy in a seamless fashion.
The most important thing is to know how to communicate clearly on what platform, because opportunities are huge, the audience is there.
If you're going to have an online store, you cannot just put it out there into the ethos and expect it to receive traffic. We've spoken about this even just from an ROI perspective in terms of actually getting engagement from customers. The same would be true for an online world.
And that meeting people is actually critical, because something always happens and it depends on your attitude.
So I think that the lesson from that is profit's good. We're all in business to make a profit. But don't be seduced by that unless that profit is being converted to cash.
With willingness and motivation, and yes, a high degree of repetition, you can actually develop a new neural pathway. So one of the ways to do that is to break the pattern.
Transformation represents an enormous opportunity. It's at that point where you want to be as an entrepreneur, where it's the biggest problem. If you're saying to become a billionaire, solve a 100 billion rand problem, this is a trillion rand problem. This is the problem of the country, the biggest problem that we face.
Onto the topic at hand, with the current BEE codes and preferential procurement requirements, corporates are under increased pressure to buy from small businesses. And SMEs, in turn, desperately want to buy from big business, but there's often a disconnect.
If you're a small business, you're either illegal, outside the law, or you're out of business. These are the things we need to fix in this country.
So we see a lot of the entrepreneurs who we want to engage can't contractually, they cannot leave site because of the contracts that they are in.
Procurement's a really complex process at the best of times. It's often very difficult for procurement decision makers to comply with their internal policies and to get the right kind of value and to mitigate performance risk.
Within supplier development now and within the codes, even if you wanted to select the guys in enterprise development and graduate them with you to get your points into supply development, it has to start with a change within the company.
In the early stages, you need to be good as an innovator and good as an entrepreneur. Later, you need to be good as a builder and as a manager. And there are very few people like, Adrian Gore, who can be all those things.
Although once it was perhaps just a mere buzzword, entrepreneurship has now really become an integral part of any sort of, business success or economic growth success.
Just 2 success factors for the purposes of continuing our conversation from each of you.
Our growth over the first few years was in templates, but we were constantly listening to our customers, engaging with them. So yeah, leveraging networks and listening to customers.
And the thinking around our operation, and linking to what Mark was saying, was we built our operation around our customer journey.
I think the 2 things that I'd highlight as overarching themes. Number 1 is just taking action. Then number 2 is really not having an ego.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Business Day TV, Times Media Events, travel safe, goodbye.